In this today's topic, I will be teaching you guys how we can create the dependent reports. That is, let's say if I filter one drop down and depending on the selected product or say whatever the brand or something, so I should get the report only for those particular selected items. And also with that report what we have created, how we can also create some sub reports. So all these days we learnt about creating reports by writing a formula and using macros as well. But when I say dependent drop down, here also I can use it by writing a formula or by writing a macro. So today's report, what I'll be teaching you guys is, let's go to this data and I'll say in each state, if I select a brand, then only the details of the product has to come. That is, let's filter this and say, oh yes, data filter. If I select one state and if I select one brand and if I select a measure, then I should get this result. So what I see here, the data, this is the final level, the last level. So in this case, I don't have to create any formulas and then do the calculation and then get the reports. I will be writing a macro such a way that just filter all this, whatever state I've selected, whatever brand I've selected, what measure I've selected, filter it, copy this, paste it, and then get the reports. So how to do this? Today we'll learn this, and also we'll learn how to create a sub report out of the generated reports. For this, what I'll do, let me move this data next to the sheet where I'm creating the reports. So you can have this practice where I can move the sheet of this data so that it will be easy for me to have the reports just next to it only. Otherwise, I'll have to keep scrolling here. So I'll go to this WKS data, then I'll check the data and again come back. So instead what I'll do, I'll move my sheet next to the reporting sheet itself, so it will be easy for me to navigate between this and check the results. So first thing what we should do is we'll create the selections. The selections are state, brand and measure. Let's go here, say insert, we'll go to developer, insert, and then we'll take a combo box. So I'll put it here. This for state. Now we'll go to this insert and say text box. So here I'll mention it as state and I'll place it here, make it bold. I'll change this to Arial. So whatever font you're using throughout your dashboard, you should use the same font. So that is a good practice actually. Let me keep my cursor here. Just hold down. Right. This is for state. The next selection is brand. So what we'll do, just select this, make a copy of it, say Control C, Control V, or I can use Control Shift and drag. I will name this as brand. Next, I need to have measure. Again, let me make a copy of it and say measure. And I'll align this. So I got 3 drop downs, wherein if I select, I should get state of this drop down. When I select this brand, I should get the brand and the measure. So if you want to load this, go to this menu and see, we've already created some dynamic ranges for this. Here we'll go to this formula, and if I check this name, so here for range, RNG state and measure we have created. Similarly, I can also create for my brand as well. So as of now, I'll just hard code it. So you guys, when you're creating the dashboard, please make sure that you will create a dynamic range. So that is a good practice. Let me go to the sheet. Now I will right click, say format control. If you already created the dynamic range, you can mention the dynamic range. So you've already created a dynamic range here. The cell link, I'll go here, I'll go to this menu and I'll select the same cell link. Say OK. Now if I go here, I'll get the states. Let's right click, format control. So I've not created any dynamic range here. As of now, I'll just select it. But please, you guys, while creating, create a dynamic range. I'll go here. I will select cell link and say OK. Now I got the brand selection as well. Next is for the measure. So for measure, you've created one dynamic range. So if you already created, then you can use the same dynamic range name here. Cell link, I will keep this cell. Right. I got this units and sales. Now my drop downs are ready. And let's go and see if the selections are also ready. So suppose if we go here for state, I've already created this index, and here also I've created this index, and here I've created this index. So this index formula will give me the selected items here, whether it can be a state, it can be brand and measure. Now let's go back to this report. Now based on these selections, I should get the report here. Alright, now as I told you, in this case, when I'm filtering the data, it is coming to the last level. So don't have to do any calculations here. If there is any requirement of the calculation, then only I have to create one more reporting sheet and then do the calculations. But in this case, I'm directly filtering all this, and the final level is what the report is. So in this case, I don't have to create any calculation sheet. Again, I'm telling you, the calculation sheet has to be created only when it is required. Now I'm not doing any calculation, so I'm just directly taking the reports here. So for this, what I'll do, I'll go to macros and then I'll write the macro for this, and I'll assign the macro for every drop down what we have created. Say Alt F11 to go to the VB editor. Now say right click, insert, and I'll say model. Now since now you're creating a report for product that is based on the brand selection, I'll just name it as say F4 mod underscore report product. Right. Now let's start writing the macro for this. Say sub report product. Now what all things I should actually take here? The first thing is, if you go here, I need to take the state selection, brand selection, and the measure. Right. Let's go here to our macro VB editor. We'll take three variables, say dim str state as string, then dim str brand as string, dim str measure as string. So I've taken three variables for state, brand, and measure. Now you have declared this. Now let's say I want to take the values for all these defined say variables. Say str state equals. So where is that? Let's go and check. Now it is in the menu sheet. Say WKS menu, that is in D3. So let's go back. Say WKS menu dot range of D3 dot value. So what will happen here, whenever I change the drop down here, that value will be changing here in this cell, that is in D3. So this value will be assigned in this macro. Now let's say str brand equals WKS menu dot range of this one, that is H3. Say H3, here I'll get the brand. Next is the measure, str measure equals WKS menu dot range of this one, that is P3. Alright. Now here I declared three variables for getting state, brand, and measure. And here I assigned state, brand, and measure. by the menu sheet D3, H3 and P3 values. Next is filtering of the data. I have this data here. This data has to be filtered. So what we'll do, we'll declare a variable for having the complete data, whatever is there here. In that variable, say dim rng data as range. Now this range data, what will have, say set rng data equals double case data dot range of, we'll take it from here, that is from E10 dot current region. So what this will do, this will take the entire data what we have here into rng data variable. That is, we have defined it as range. Now let's filter this data. So if you want to filter this, I have to filter state, brand and measure. Let's go here. Anyways, I've taken the complete data set into this rng data. That is the data type what we have given here as range. Directly I can take this as well, saying that double case data dot range of E10 dot current region dot again auto filters. So that will become like a lengthy code. So instead I've just taken it into rng data. Now what I'll do is here I'll try to filter the data. I'll mention it as filter data. Say rng data dot auto filter. Now I'm trying to filter the data. The first thing is, let's filter state. State is in which column? Say it's in first column of this rng data table array. Auto filter, it'll ask for a field, I'll say 1, comma. Next it'll ask for the criteria. The criteria is nothing but the selections what we have done here. Say state, brand and measure. Since I'm filtering the state, I'll say str state. Now here it will filter the state what we have selected. Next, rng data dot auto filter, then the brand. The brand is in second column. I'll say 2, comma str brand. Next, we need to filter measure. I'll say rng data dot auto filter, say 3, comma str measure. So here I've declared the variables. Here I assign values to those variables, and in this place I'm trying to filter the selected values. Let's run this and see. We'll debug this. As I told you, once you finish the code, try to debug this and see. If you go here, I'm getting some error, so it is not coming properly. So let's see what's happening. So here, this should be 4 actually. Say 1, 2, 3, 4. The measure is in 4th column. I'll make it as 4. Now let's do it again. Okay. We'll remove this. Now we're getting the results. So we'll debug from beginning. Say, let's remove this filter. Now we'll debug it. Say, trying to debug. State, brand and measure has been filtered. Let's go and see whether that is the selection what we have done. Say Goa, BlackBerry and units. Let's come to this data sheet. See, state is Goa, brand is BlackBerry and measure is units. Alright, let's do another selection here. Let's say I'll change this to Nokia, and let's change this to sales, and this one we'll change this to Maharashtra. Let's go back and see. F8. Now the selections whatever we have done, the same selections, it has to be filtered here. Let's go here. See, state is Maharashtra, brand is Nokia and measure is sales. That means my code is ready. Next step is I need to copy this data and paste it in my report sheet. Let's view and say headings. So here I need to paste the data. Let's say I'll paste it in B12. Let's go back and see. Here the report 3 says sheet 6. Let's rename this. I'll say F4, say WKS report underscore product. Right. The whatever I have filtered, let's say I will copy and paste the. From where should we copy? We should copy the filtered data here, and we're pasting in report sheet here. Let's go back and say WKS or say RNG data. We already taken this. Now while copying this, I can say copy directly because it's already filtered. But this is a filtered data. So what you do is we'll say dot special cells. Why we should take special cells is whenever I filter the data, only the visible cells has to be copied. If it was a normal data, then we can just say copy and paste, say dot copy dot paste. But here we have filtered the data, so what we'll do is we'll try to copy it as a special cells. I'll say open bracket. It'll ask what type I should copy it. I'll go here, I'll say cell type visible. So this is nothing but say copy visible cells only, like this. I go here, say select this, say Control G, special, and I have this visible cells only. Usually when we copy this filtered data, we use this visible cells only. So same thing, I'm doing it through code dot copy. Now we need to paste it. Let's go and paste it in this report 3 sheet, that is in B12. So we have named it as WKS report underscore product. Now I'll say WKS report underscore product dot range of, let's say I'll paste that in B12 dot paste special. Let's paste it as values. Paste as values. Now let's debug this. Copy. Let's see whether it is copied. Yes, it is copied. Now I'll say paste special, and let's go back and see. Yes, it is getting pasted. Let's go back to the code. Now what's happening is it is trying to copy the data and it is pasting. Now after copying the data, the filter data, whatever is there, that has to unfilter. That means the data, whatever is there, the data which is filtered here, that should get unfiltered. Means this filter should get, get rid of the filters. Now we should remove these filters. So how to do this? So what I'll do, I'll go here, and here I'll say WKS data dot auto filter mode equals false. If I give this, the filtered data, whatever is there, that will be removed. So why we have to remove this is next time when it is filtering, so we'll not have any problems. You can also give this in the beginning if you wish. So I'll go here. So when I'm running this, what will happen? It will first remove the filter and then it will apply the filter, copy the data, and it will paste. Let's try this again. So when I run this, see the filters are removed, and now I'll assign the values. Go here and see it is copying the data and it is pasting, and then the filter is removed. That means whatever data I'm trying to filter here, that will get filtered and it will get pasted here. Now let's go back, take this macro, and let's assign this to all these three drop downs. Let me select this, hold control and select. We can hold control and select all the drop downs, right click, assign macro, and we'll assign the macro what we have created. Say report product, say OK. Done. Now let's go here and change this. See, It is getting changed now. See, it's getting changed. The formatting part is left. We'll do that. First, we'll see whether the data is getting changed. Yes, it is getting changed. Next thing is, we've already formatted here few, say, reports. Same thing we have to do here also. When you're actually formatting, make sure that throughout your dashboard, the colors, the fonts, everything is same. Now we'll do the same kind of formatting what we have done for other reports. So quickly, we'll just select this. We'll try to increase the column width, row height, and put the borders and change the font and colors like that. But before that, make sure that all the objects whatever you have created should be do not move or resize. So for that, what I'll do again, I'll say Control A, then say Control 1. Let's go to this properties and say do not move. If this is not selected, again if I just drag this, see, we'll have some problem here like this. So what we'll do, we'll select all the objects and say do not move or size. Right, now what we'll do, we'll go here, we'll increase the row height. So for that I can go to this home, then I'll say format, say row height, and here I'll make it as 20. Quickly we'll put the border, again Control 1. Here I have this border, so I'll take this color and I'll put the border. Now here in this case, I don't require the state, brand and measure because anyways I'm selecting it here. So what I'll do, I'll hide this. So I can just select this, right click and say hide. So why I'm hiding that is, anyways I'm doing the selection, so it will be of same results here. Let me select this and say hide. Let me drag this to give more space here, and then let me increase this column width. Now let me format this, change the font, and then I'll say font size 10. Then let me make this heading bold, make it center align and make it middle align. This one, put this indentation and we'll shade this. So quickly we'll format this table. Now I got this report. Now let's go here and we'll change this. See, I'm getting this result. But if you see, the data is getting cut, so what we'll do, we'll just try to drag it some more like this, some more space, and we'll try to adjust this, and then we'll try to change. See, it's getting changed. So now I change here. So if I change any brands here, these products also are getting changed. See, like this. So this is how you can create reports for the dependent product. Say I'll go here, let me just make it middle align. Sorry. Right. See, when I select Sony Ericsson, so I'll get Sony Ericsson here. Fine. When I'm actually selecting and changing this, it is selecting the whole table because it is copying and pasting. Now what we'll do is we'll go here and we'll try to make the selection somewhere so that it will not select the table while pasting it. See, when I say Nokia, I'm selecting somewhere here. When I'm selecting this HTC, see, it is selecting the entire table here. So for that, what I'll do, in the end, say WKS report product dot range of, just give some cell dot select. Now if I go and select this, see, it is not selecting the table. Otherwise what it will do is while pasting, it will just paste the data here and it will select. Right. Now when I'm pasting it, you can see there is some flickering here. So if you want to avoid that, you can also go here and say application dot screen updating equals false. Now let me change this. See, I'll not get any flicker like this. Right. Let me just give some 1000 separators here. Now the report is ready. That is, the table is ready. Now what I want is, if I click on any of these cells, let's say I'll click on this, then I should get report only for this selected product. We have seen in other reports, that is, when I'm changing this, so depending on the whole table, I'm getting these reports. But now what we'll do is, we'll try to create one report here such a way that, suppose if I select this product, I should get the result only for this product. Then if I select this, I should get result only for this product. So for that, what I should do, so then I have to take this sheet module. So what we'll do, we'll go here and we'll try to write a small macro for this such a way that when I click on this, I should get the report here. Alright, so what we'll do, we'll say Alt F11 and then we'll select that particular sheet. So when I'm actually trying to write a macro for a sheet, that is, when I select this, depending on the selection, I should get the report, then I should be using sheet modules. Or I can also use some drop downs and do it, because as I told you, now we'll see how we can select the cell and then create the report. So we'll go to sheet module and then create the reports. Now we have learned about how to create the reports by selecting the entire table. Now what we're trying to do is, by selection, I'm creating the reports. All right, so how to do this? So first, as I told you, we'll go to this sheet module and here we'll try to write the code. Now what we'll do, now there is one more calculation sheet is required. Now we'll create one more sheet. So for this report, I don't require any calculation sheet because I'm directly copying the data and pasting it here. Now for the report, what I'm creating here, say based on the selection, then I need a calculation sheet. Let me just create one more sheet. Just make it as WKS report, say product underscore cancel. So first we'll copy this and we'll paste it here. So one set, we'll just create one placeholder and I'll paste it somewhere here. Let me hide this. I'll increase this one. Let me delete this. I'll create one chart here. We can decide what chart I need. So here we'll try to create one pie chart because we have not used anywhere pie chart. Just click here. You can choose either column chart or pie chart, whichever you feel nice. You can just create that. Right click, I'll say select data. Then I will select this data. So if you want, you can go here and you can format it. Say I have this design. So select any of these things, or you can try to format it to your desired designs, whichever you want. Just select this. I'll change this to Arial. Right. So you see whatever you want, you just try to format it, which looks better for you. Now when I click on this Sony Ericsson's or whatever this cell, whatever data is there here, for that I need to get the reports here. And we'll just take the labels as well. So here say data labels. And let's make this data labels outside. Close. Okay. We'll go to this macros. And here what I'll do is I'll say worksheet. So this is the event for which I'm trying to create a macro, so that the data, if I click on this, the report should get generated based on the selections. Right. So what we'll do is, first we'll see which is the product which I have selected. So for that, we'll go here. First, we'll take the row number. That means whatever I'm clicking, first I should check the row number. I'll say dim int r as integer. That means I'm trying to take the row number. Say int r equals target dot row, or I can use active cell dot row. Target dot row is nothing but this target. That means whichever I'm clicking here, that row number will be assigned to this intr. Now we'll go here, write a simple macro, that is if I click somewhere here, I should get the row number, and that row value, whatever is there, that row, complete entire row will be copied and should be pasted here. So when I'm pasting here, what will happen? This chart also will get changed depending on whatever value I'm copying and pasting there. Say go here, and here we'll see where is that sheet what we have created. This one, I'll rename this. Let me copy this and I'll paste it here. Now let's say WKS report product dot range of, that means this one, in column D I'm copying, say D, but row number will be intr. The reason is whatever row I'm clicking, that row, complete row has to be copied. So in this case I have 1 2 3 4 5 6, and there is one more hidden cell here, that is for measure. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 with that 7 rows. I'll say dot resize. So what resize will do? Resize will resize the selection, that is from this cell, that is D, intr is the row number, dot resize. Here I'm trying to copy one row, comma, the column size is 7 because I have to copy these 7 columns from here, dot copy. Then I need to paste. Where should I paste? In the calculation sheet what I've created now. Say WKS report calculation dot range of. I'll paste it here. That is in F11. Say F11 dot paste special. If you want, you can paste it as values. Right. So this code is enough to create the report. Let's go here and we'll see. We click. See, when I click on this, the reports are getting generated. Now it's just like I'm just clicking on this, the reports are getting generated here like this. There is some flicker happening, so what we'll do is here application dot screen updating equals false. Though it will not avoid complete flickering, just slightly we can reduce it. See, but depending on the selection, I'm getting this reports here. Now what we'll do, whichever row I'm selecting, let's make it bold. Bold in the sense, I'll know that which row has been selected. Let's go back here. I'll mention it as copy data. Here we'll say format row. So we can take the same row here. That means whatever row I'm copying, here I'll say dot font dot bold equals 2. So what will happen is, in this case, when I'm selecting, say for example, if I select this entire row will become bold like this. But here there is a problem. If I go and select another row, that also will become bold. But this row, whatever is there, the previous one which you have selected, has to be unbold. Now which is not happening. So for this, what I'll do, I'll go here from this D13 till this J22. First we'll make it unbold so that the bold is removed, and then the bold is applied only for the row which is selected. Say WKS report product dot range of, say D13 from here dot, sorry, colon, that is J22 dot font dot bold equals false. Now let's go and click on this. See, so what's happening here? First, the bold is removed, and then the bold is applied only to the row what it is selected. Now, if you want to shade this, you can also do that. That is, if I'm selecting something here, so if you want to shade the row which is selected, that also I can do. I can go here, let's say, shade the selected row. It's just a formatting techniques. That's it. If you want, you can do. Otherwise, you can ignore. Let me go here. I'll copy the same cells here. Now, instead of this font making it bold, I'll say dot interior dot color equals, I can give RGB color. Now when I say RGB, first let's remove this color. So I'll make it as 255, 255, 255. So this will give me the white color for the entire table which you selected here. But for this row, whatever is there, I need to give a shading. Let's say I want to give something like this, say of this color. I don't know the RGB color of it, so you don't have to bother. So how to check the RGB color of it? Let's go here and say more colors. Here it says 255, 228, 214. So we mention the same RGB color here. So whichever color you want, you can just go and see. If I click on this, it will give me the RGB color. I can mention that. So first I mention it as white. See, if I go to this white, it says 255, 255 and 255. That is for white. Now we want RGB color for this shading. So I'll go here, say more color. It says 252, 228, 214. So let me go here. I'll take this code. I'll paste it here. Then I'll take this interior color. Then I'll say 252, 228 and 214. So what will happen here? First it will remove the color and then it will apply the colors. Let's go back. Let's try to click somewhere here. Okay. So what we have done here, you have to resize, sorry. So what it is doing here is, it is taking only one cell. So I'll go here. I will resize this. Copy this. And let's resize. So what will happen here? From D, the row what we have selected, till that 7th column, that means from this cell to 7th cell it will shade. Now if you go and click on this, see, so this will give me this kind of reports like this. Right, so we have done the report here, but what will happen is, suppose if I go here and click here on this cell, the macro will run. Let's go and click on this, see, which should not happen actually. So for this we have to do some validation. So whenever you are creating a report, after creating the report, you should also think about the validations. Now there is a problem here. So what we'll do is, we'll put one condition such a way that the validations, whatever is there, say when I click anywhere outside the table, this should not work. So what I'll do is, I'll go back. Here in this case, I'll say if intr is less than. So here, if I'm clicking less than this 13th row, less than 13, or intr is greater than, that is 22. So after 22, if I click, then exit sub. So what does exit sub will do? If I go and click on this thing, now it will not run. Let me clear this. The format whatever is there, I just cleared. Now if you go and click on any of the rows here, the report will run. But when I click anything less than 13 or about 22, the program will not run because it is coming out of the program because of this condition. So here we have to give such validations as well. Right. So now we got this report. That is, let me go here and I'll just say Andhra Pradesh. Now if you say this, here you can just see whatever you see here, it is not matching. So it says Sony Ericsson. Okay, let me go here and change this to Nokia. And here you can see Nokia and still it says Sony Ericsson. That means when I click on this, it will run. See? Now I'm getting the result. But when I'm changing this, it's not running. See? It still says this one. So how to handle this? Now what we'll do is, we'll go back and we'll change the code. So hope you understood. So what's happening here? Say, when I click on this, it is changing the report. But when I'm changing these selections, it is still not changing anything here. Say, I'll go here Samsung. So it's not changed. When I click on this, then only it'll run, because the program what we have written is this selection change, and the selection change will work only when I select the cells. So what we'll do is, we'll go back. We've written a program here. And if you come here, in the end I've given this selection for A1. So instead what I'll do is, I'll change that to D14 so that every time whenever I change this, whenever I change any of these drop downs, it is trying to select A1. So instead let it select D13. So whenever I select any of this, whenever I change this, say the drop downs, it should automatically go and select this D13 so that the program selection change will automatically run. Let me just change this to D13. I just change this to D13 now. Let's go and see. Now let me change this to Goa. See. Let me change this to Sony Ericsson. See. Let me change this to sales. See. So the logic behind this is, the program what we have written here is for selection change event. And here in this code for the drop downs, I had written such a way that previously it was selecting A1. When I select A1, when you go to this code, we have written a condition saying that if the row number is less than 13 or greater than 22, it should not work. But when I'm checking this program, it says A1, which is less than 13. So the program was not running. Now what I've done is, I've selected this D13. When I go here and I select this D13, this report will get changed. So this is how we can create some reports as well like this. Right, let me save this. After this, I want one more report. One more report in the sense, I want this report by a drop down saying that if I go here and select a drop down, then I should get one column chart such a way that, so whatever selections are there here, now I'm doing the selections. Instead, here I have one more report such a way that I'll have a drop down of products of whatever I'm selecting here. And in that, I want, say, sales and measure, or sorry, sales and units. So whatever I'm selecting, I should get the report here by column chart. That means it's a sub report. So what we'll do here, we'll create one more drop down. Now we have created this report. Now we are creating one more report. But here what we're trying to do is, we're trying to get the sub report that is based on the drop downs. Right. Now how to do that? So what we'll do is, we'll go here and just copy the same drop downs and I'll put it here. So instead of creating one more, I'll keep it here and I'll name it as product. And just move it here. Remove the macro if you have assigned any macro, otherwise it will be keep changing. Right click, format control. Now I'll go here, I'll just select this products only. Anyway, this will be changing. So when it's getting changed, so this also get changed. I'll say okay. Now if you see here, whatever brands are getting, whatever brand we are changing here, the products are also getting changed. So based on this product, say this is Sony Ericsson, here also I'll get this Sony Ericsson like this. So based on this selection, I should get a chart here. So for that, what we'll do, we'll go here and then we'll see how we can create the reports. Now we'll create one table here. Let me just copy this and I'll paste it. Now if I select anything here, the data should get changed here as well. So what we'll do here, right click, format control, say the cell link, I'll take it somewhere here only. See, changing it, I'm getting this cell link. So here, let's increase this row number, say equals index of, we'll take this cell, that is the array, comma, row number, I'll select this, and I'll say column as 1, close bracket. Now if I select here, see, the values are getting changed. So what I'll do, I'll just remove this. So based on the selection, whatever you have done, so that will take it from here. Say equals, either I can use VLOOKUP or I can use index. So anything is fine. I'll use VLOOKUP. Lookup value is this. Say salute, comma, and then select this table. Say F4, comma, then this one is the second column, right? Sorry, taken this second. This is third column. Sorry, 3. We copy this, paste as formulas, then we'll make it as 4, say 5, say 6, and say 7. Right. Now when I select this, see, the values are getting changed. And let's make this one as white color so that I'll not see this. Now you can create a chart out of it directly. Let's say, let me delete this because this is a number. I'll select this, insert. Let me insert a column chart and I'll keep it. So here, this is by selection. That is when I'm clicking on this. I'm just telling you one more way of creating the reports here, that is by drop down. So either of this you can use. It's not that you have to use both here. So I'm just telling you the same report, whatever is there here, that I'm trying to do it in a different way. That is by selection here like this. Now let me select this. Go to this design. Again, I'm telling you the format, you can choose whichever way you want. So I'm just quickly trying and selecting this so that I'll not waste time in formatting. Let me change this to Arial. See, every time I'm going here and I'm changing this to Arial because the complete say reports what I'm creating, the dashboard, I'm using Arial, so I'm using the same thing here also everywhere. Okay, so make sure that the font, the colors, everything should be same throughout your dashboard. Now let me go here, see. Right, now let me change this to units. So if I go here, here also it should get changed. See. So this is how you can create the reports. Now I don't want this, say, product here like this. I want something where I have a list of all the products, and based on that product selection, I should get the chart. So that also I can do. So how to do that? Say instead of this drop down, let me go here. I'll try to insert a list box here. So here I have this list box. I'm just telling you the possible way of creating the reports. Now let's say I'll keep the list box here like this. Right click, format control, and let me select the products. Then cell link, we'll take the same cell link here. I think we had given somewhere here. Let's check. Let's try to change the color of it. We'll use the same cell. Right click, format control. Let me select this report. Then cell link, select this and say top. If you go and check here, see, I got all the list here. So by list also I can select. So it is something similar to this report. So here I'm selecting here. So instead of that, I can also use this control. See, I've used this one. See here, I can select like this. This is by control. This is by drop down. This is by selection. So any of these options you can use. So the possible way of creating the reports I'm telling. Now here, what is happening is I have a say what is this selection. If you click on this, it's getting changed. Next is suppose if you want to change the format of this, say the type, the chart type to different types. Say I want to see this in column chart. Next, if you want to see this in bar chart, I can go here. Let's change this to bar chart. So I'll get a bar chart like this. Now I want a pie chart. So I can go here, change this to pie chart. I want a line chart. Click on this line chart. So you can do this also by writing a macro for this. That means if you're seen in the new business intelligence tools, we can change the format of the charts as well. So I can go, I can select, say I don't want this line chart, I want column chart, just click on the column chart, this will get changed. But in Excel, we don't have that option unless and until I go and select here like this manually. So how will I actually do? So what I'll do is, we'll also see how we can change the chart types here. Let me select the chart and then let's rename this. I'll say OBJ chart. Let me save this. Now what we'll do is, we'll try and see, we'll give some checkboxes or we'll give some option button to change this chart type. Let me go here, say developer, and I'll take this option button. Here I'll say column chart. Let me make one more copy of it. You can use Control C, Control V, or I can just use Shift, Control and drag. I'll say bar chart. Move it little further here. And then I'll say pie chart. Then I'll say line chart. Any chart you can create. See, let me align this properly. Always have the habit of aligning also so that it looks neat. I'll say vertical. See. Now if I click on this column chart, this should become column chart, say bar chart, pie chart, or line chart. First, rename the object so that it will be easy for me to use this in the program. Alt F11. Let's do it in this module only. Say sub change chart type. Dim, I'll say OBJ chart as chart. I'll take this chart into this variable. How to take that? Go here. I'll say set OBJ chart equals this sheet, whatever is there. So that is in product, report product dot chart objects, and the name of the chart is OBJ chart is what we have given dot chart. That means I've taken this chart into this variable. Now we'll say what kind of selection I've done. Say if I select this, then it should become column chart. So how will I know that? So for that, what I'll do, right click, format control, we'll give a cell link again. Give anywhere, wherever you want. Usually it's better to have in the calculation sheet so that you'll not have all the values which are selected here. So I'll just put it somewhere here. Let's say I'll put it here and say okay. This value also you can put it in the calculation sheet itself. Just to show you guys, I've kept it here. Now when I click on this, So this will be changing. So I'll go here. I'll say chart selection. This is. Now we'll take this into one variable. Say dim int index as integer. So this index will be wks product calculation sheet dot range of say r8 dot value. Now I got the index. So if it is 1, let's say I'll select here, this will be 1. That is for column chart. If it is 2, that means it is a bar chart. If it is 3, that means it is pie chart. Otherwise, it is a line chart. So we have the serial number, say 1, 2, 3, 4. So this number is assigned automatically by the options what we have here. It is assigned automatically. So you don't have to bother about how the numbers are assigned. Say this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you don't have to give selling for every objects here because this will become like a group. So right click, if I say format control, and if I click here, so this will become a group. So whichever selections I'm doing, so based on that I'll get the number here. Right, so depending on this index number, so what we'll do is we'll see how we can change the chart type. I'll say if int index is equal to 1, then what should happen? Then say else if int index equals 2, then let me say if it is 3, say else index. Say if it is 1, it should be column chart. If it is 2, it should be bar chart. If it is 3, it should be pie chart. Else it should be line chart. So here we'll say obj chart dot chart type equals Excel column cluster. Let me copy this, and here if it is 2, then I'll say bar cluster. If it is 3, then I'll say pie chart. Else I'll say line chart. Excel line, I'll say markers. Right. Now we'll assign this macro to these buttons. Select this, right click, assign macro, and here let me click on this column chart and see what will happen. See, see, you can apply to any chart like this. So what will happen, you can also see this value. Say for example, I'll go to this pie chart, I'll click on this. See, now I feel that okay, let me check this with the line chart. I can go and check with this. So likewise, I can change the chart here so that it looks good. So whenever I want, I can just go here and I can change the chart type. See, so whatever reports you want, you can plan accordingly, and then you can create the reports. So this is how you can create a dependent reports, and then within that report, I can create a sub reports, and that sub reports you can have any plan, say either by drop downs or by a control with list box or by say sheet module by selections like this, and also you can use something like this. That is, you can change the chart type. Okay, so this is what I have for today.